Welcome back to American Wing Chun. I am Siu Nim Tau, and in this video we will be starting our Chum Kiu form series. This will be a series of 6 videos to cover the 6 sets of Chum Kiu, and we'll do 1 set per video. So this will start the first set, and so Chum Kiu, the name Chum Kiu, Chum means to seek something, and Kiu is a bridge. So this is the seeking a bridge form. It has a lot of techniques in it that will allow you to establish a bridge with your opponent. And a bridge in Chinese martial arts terminology is once you have established contact with your limb, with the limb of your opponent, that creates a bridge between you and them. And we like to travel across that bridge so that you can find them very easily, even if you can't see them too well. If your eyes are closed, you get something in your eye, they poke your eye out, and you're still able to fight them. So this will start the first set. So we start out the first 2 sets of Siu Nim Tau, and the first 2 sets of Chum Kiu, and the first 2 sets of Bu Ji are all very similar to each other. They have slight differences, and it's the 3rd set of each of those forms that you can tell that they are a completely different form altogether. So this will start the first set. You start with your feet completely together. Your arms are down, relaxed by your sides. And similar to Siu Nim Tau, your arms will come up and your knees will bend. But in Siu Nim Tau, your arms come up first, and there's a pause between that and your knees bending. Whereas in Chum Kiu, you blend those 2 movements together. So your knees bend and your arms come up simultaneously. And then you open it just like in Siu Nim Tau. Your heels will be your pivot point to turn your toes out. So this makes a 90-degree angle. Then you're going to pivot on the balls of the feet to turn your heels out. So that also makes a 90-degree angle. The width of the stance, and this is important. I think in my Siu Nim Tau video, I didn't really go into detail on how wide the stance should be. And I think my stance is a little bit too wide in that video. But the stance should be where the centers of each of the feet are in line with roughly where your armpit is, where the ball socket of the shoulder connects to the body. From that spot down, kind of where these red lines are on my shirt, are straight in line with the centers of both feet. If your stance is too wide, then when we do other parts of the form, you won't be able to shift your weight far enough to offload a leg for a kick. So you need to have, in Wing Chun, we have a fairly narrow stance compared to other martial arts. If your stance is too wide, you won't be able to maneuver your weight fast enough or far enough to do some of the movements that we have in the form. And if your stance is too narrow, though, you won't be able to do other things and clear the line with our stepping. We'll have to explain our footwork in a different video. But anyway, the arms and the knees bend and come up at the same time, and then toes go out to a 90-degree angle. Heels go out to a 90-degree angle. The hips are forward, and the legs have a squeeze in them. And you can maintain that stance through the whole form. From here, you have both hands cross at the wrist. And in Siu Nim Tau, you had a pause here. And then you did the double Gaun-Sau, and there was a pause there. The Kwun-Sau comes up, and there's a pause there. And then it comes back. Whereas in Chum Kiu, 1 and 2 are together. The moment those wrists cross, it goes down into the Gaun-Sau. There's a pause at the Gaun instead of a pause at the Tan. So Tan Gaun, pause. Kwun-Sau back up to Tan-Sau and pause. Make fists and pull those arms back. And that's that set. And then you can close your stance from there by turning your right foot and pointing it straight. Your left leg can drag over to the right and the arms relax. So to do that again, the feet are exactly touching together. Don't start with space between the feet because your stance will be too wide then. Start with your feet completely touching together. Arms are down, relaxed by your sides, and your gaze is even, looking straight forward at head view. Your arms come up and your knees bend simultaneously. You pivot on your heels and turn your toes out. Pivot on the balls of your feet, turn your heels out. Hips are forward, legs squeeze. Double Tan-Sau into the Gaun-Sau. Rotate up for the Kwun-Sau back into Tan, and both hands pull back. Right foot points straight, left leg drags over, arms relax. And that's set number 1 of Chum Kiu. We'll do the next set in the next video, so stay tuned for that.